or the biggest L of the weekend. Packers Cowboys. So did you watch the from the beginning? Okay, you know what? Let's just do a review first. Okay, I'll tell you how it felt for me because I watched this game through and through, and I was very disappointed. But I'll give you the way I felt, and then you can give me yours. Somewhat of a Raider hater, somewhat of a Cowboy hater. I'm also a Raider hater too, even though I'm a Raider fan. So so you're like 7 minutes time. They score a touchdown. You're like, all right, cool. They fucking score 16 plays, whatever. And immediately I was like, ooh, nice. The Packers were able to score. It's going to be a shootout. Dallas is going to come out, and they're going to score 7. And it's going to be a fucking, it's going to be who lasts the longest, who runs out of time first.
Mm-hmm.
Who runs out of time with less points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Dallas comes out. And so they come out, they punt. Green Bay comes out, they punt. Interception. The Jair Alexander interception is right here. By Jair Alexander at the 19 that I thought was a pick six. It was not. They called it back.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so they meet. So start of the second, Packers score. So now it's 14-0. And at this point, you're like, okay, because of the fact that the Dak already threw the interception and they punted, the body language was already really fucked.
Yes.
The whole vibe in the whole from this moment, especially even before the interception, the vibe was already kind of fucked. But the body language was even more fucked. CD Lamb's like,
yeah,
being a fucking asshole, like saying shit to Dak. Everyone's
Mike
like,
McCarthy had to walk over to him on the bench and like,
we're in trouble.
It's not looking good. Second quarter, they score after the pick. Halftime hits and it's fucking 27-7. It's kind of like, all right, like 27-7. Let's see what the fuck happens. Maybe we can fucking figure some shit out. We'll come back out. We'll do something. And I think you guys kick a field goal to come back. Yeah, in the third, 14 plays, 5 minutes, field goal to make it 10-27. And then the Packers score a touchdown again, and you're like, oh my god, they're just gonna keep trading. Even if the Cowboys keep scoring touchdowns or whatever, they're not stopping the Packers at all. So how many times did they punt to finish the game? One punt in the fucking first quarter, 2, 3. They had 3 punts the whole fucking game. And these points at the end don't even fucking matter because it's already well out of reach by the start of the fourth. And the fact that Dallas couldn't score or couldn't even keep up is the worst part. But as someone who thought Dallas was going to win and picked Dallas to win before the game, as a Cowboy hater, I was very. This loss was worse than any Romo Garrett loss, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, easily.
And especially because it seemed like it was going to be okay. It seemed like there's no reason that you guys shouldn't beat the Packers. I mean, Jordan Love was looking good, but I thought that but also Micah's getting held like his neck is just permanently getting clotheslined every pick, which is kind of fucked. So this is the touchdown for Jordan Love. So that was one hell of a drive just to win the game. Win the toss, take the ball on the road, march 75 yards, 12 plays. Forced into only 1/3 down, touchdown. Jordan Love 4 for 4 for 42 yards. Right. Then immediately it's Mike McCarthy's turn. Right. 2nd and 10 run to Rico Dowdle, which honestly, this name sounds familiar. Has this guy been on getting carries like that?
Yeah, he's kind of been in the mix. He's had a couple like good games as far as like, giving Tony a break every once in a while, but. He's been our third string. He's been on the roster for a while.
He's the third stringer?
But now once Zeke left, he bumped up to the second string.
To second. Everyone moved up? Okay. So 2nd and 10 run to Dowdle, gains 2 yards, sets up 3rd and long. And the Dallas punt on Green Bay 49. Never changed Mike McCarthy. So this just goes back to, this random person. Gotta love running with your juiceless backup running back on a 2nd and 10. Mike McCarthy's second down play calls. Run, Pollard sets up 3rd down. Run, Dowdle sets up 3rd down. Run, Lamb sets up 3rd down. These are his scripted early plays. Guy is a disaster. To go back on that fucking quote that Mike McCarthy had earlier in the year, in the offseason, about the
running the football.
What's his name wants to score points. I want to run the damn ball. Well, this year you guys have not been able to run the ball at all.
Yep.
Now, at least not as good as you wanted to, whether because of your line or because of Zeke left and Pollard's not putting in the fucking work, or pulling out the output that they thought.
A little bit of both. Everything.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of everything you just said.
But running. Fucking passing the ball has been your strongest suit.
Yeah.
So then it continues. Mike McCarthy is hilariously bad. There have been 6 second downs, 5 run plays, 8 total yards, 8 yards on 5 plays, 1 point yards per carry, 1.6 yards per carry. Meanwhile, the one pass gained 22 yards. Can Jerry fire him at halftime? This is an epic disaster. So the one thing about passing on first down and on second down is the reason why it's analytically been. It's like the thing that's kind of been championed, just like how in the NBA shooting more threes had it became the thing when Curry got drafted, like around Curry's tenure. When Curry first became a thing, was like the analytics showed like, hey, stop taking long twos. You either shoot threes or you shoot deep in the paint, but if don't ever take a long two, just always shoot the three. It's you get the analytics shows it's way better for your team, whatever. So the thing with football has been, hey, like pass on first down, pass on second down, because even if you're not getting that many yards or you don't get the first down, it's at least 2nd and 4 or 3rd and 3, 3rd and 1. You know what I mean? He came in and was like, when he got hired, he told Jerry, yes,
I watched all your games.
I watched all your games, and I will have my own
team all last year.
Analytics. I said anal. I just put anal. Jesus Christ. Anal.
All those stats about running on second down or whatever, dude. The he's doing that, and you're losing. You're losing. You're already down 7-0. You're already down 14-0, and that's what you're doing on second down in the first quarter.
So the Cowboys are going all in on analytics in 2023, this is what his 3rd year. I remember reading an article. He told Jerry that did I find it? Mike McCarthy speaks on 2020 plan for analytics, play calling, and more. We're looking at everything, he says. This is when he got hired, right? He does not look at the analytics because the analytics shows he does not play the analytics. And Warren Sharp is fucking pulling this out right here. Also, this is funny. This is completely unfair. 1992 to 2007, Brett Favre, then Aaron Rodgers, and now it's fucking Jordan Love, like I told you. Remember early in the season? And what's the one thing they always do? Sit their quarterbacks for like 3 years and then let them play. Wow, that must really do something. Maybe more teams should do that. But yeah, so like, I mean, in my opinion, it has to be fire McCarthy. You blame all of this on McCarthy. You keep Dak, you keep the ball rolling, and you fucking figure it out. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go. So give me your perspective.
Obviously, it all started with
The Packers winning the coin toss. For me,
right.
They chose to receive the ball.
Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys all season,
When they win the toss, we always get the ball first. We set the tone first,
right?
We always go down the field and we play from ahead. That's our bread and butter. Cowboys play for ahead. We're built to play from ahead. So Matt LaFleur says, nah, I don't want the ball at to start the second half. I want the ball now. Let's go. Because I cooked up something.
Yes.
I know I'm going to go right down the field and get 7 points. So sure enough, that's exactly what happens.
Okay.
So that's one punch in the mouth. Mike, let's go. Let's see what you dialed up. Let's see what you've been working on all week for this first drive to get yourself. All right, let's even up the score. Again, you just read off like the play calling, the running on second down, getting absolutely nothing to it. Getting absolutely nothing from those run calls, which we've gotten nothing from our run game all year. So why we're trying to, especially now that we're down, no, let's dial up whatever we have going on to get CD involved, little short passes, this and that, to make up for our run game, because we have none of that.
Yeah, and you haven't had it all year, and you've been winning games with Dak as your best player.
Exactly, but no. Get nothing on second down, boom, just like that, we punt. All right, we get it. Well, what do we do? I think we get a stop. We get the ball back. All right, cool. All right. And then Dak throws probably not the best decision. Probably should have gone to CeeDee Lamb. He throws it to Brandon Cooks and Jair Alexander. He's a dog. Great corner in the league, one of the best.
Yeah, one of the best.
He just makes an insane play. It's not a bad decision. It's not a bad throw. It's just a great play by a great defender. And then right after that, I'm like, oh, Cowboys are going to cowboy. It was one of those right after that.
This is a savage interception.
Yeah, this is the second one. This is just a bad read. You got Brandon Cooks right in front of your face. Run it back. He had Brandon Cooks wide open.
Yeah.
You kind of hold him off a little bit,
because he's gonna go towards CD.
I think it's because there's pressure coming, so he thought my first read and I'll throw it. But like, I think if he makes just one quicker read and looks over at Cooks, he would see that Cooks was because they're like at the
All you need is those 3-4 yards.
Yeah, it was like 3-4 years, right? This is
Boom, right there. Just stop, catch it, boom, put it on his chest. But he forces it. He forces it to CD, and that's what Dak does. That's where he's not at his best. And then of course Aaron Jones lights up the Cowboys every time.
This is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's just a great play. I mean, you can't do nothing with that, bro.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. He's just like in their faces.
It's all.
It's like it's the sweet, and he just like runs up to them. That shit's funny.
And Aaron Jones just owns the Cowboys. He runs through the Cowboys, which goes to my point with
which I don't understand too. I guess fucking Aaron Jones hadn't played a bunch this year.
Now he was hurt.
Which
he came back
was
two
fucking
weeks
news
ago.
to me. Yeah, so like they just kept being like, oh well, Aaron Jones is back with fresh legs because he's been out most of the season. And I'm like, well, it fucking looks like it for sure because he's playing fucking lights out. And I don't know. Dan Quinn is a good defensive coordinator, and he did fucking I think he deserves praise for the season. But
last night was unacceptable for sure.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Shanahan getting hired after the Falcons lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots, being up 28-3, and Shanahan had already like I mean that's the Super Bowl, so it's different, but like Shanahan got super cooked and then went to the Niners and still did okay. But like it does give you like the ick of like, damn, do we want? I mean, Dan Quinn is rumored to be the favorite in Seattle. And now, after watching him get cooked by essentially a first year starter, and fucking a bunch like the youngest team, right? Aren't they like one of the youngest teams to win a playoff game or some shit? Their average age. It's just bad. It's just bad luck, but like or bad juju on that part. I 100% thought that the defense was gonna carry
for Dallas, right?
I was like, even if Dak doesn't play good, or the reason I was so high on Dallas was because I thought they were going to carry. I thought the defense was going to carry. I thought Jordan Love was probably going to score like 20 points, but they would lose like 20-27 or something because I figured the defense was going to pop off, and Dak was going to be able to score against. I mean, a Packers defense who had like a lot of injuries. Still,
and that's not been good all year. Not been good all year.
Has not. I mean, they're fucking what 9-8, right? Or they ended 10-7 or something.
Something like that, but not good all year.
Here, this is what I was trying to find, and I finally found it.
They're deservedly favorites, largely because they're at home. I also think this offense matches up very well with Green Bay.
Yes, that was what I was going to say. I'm going to leave it to you. I feel like you are the documenter this year of the Cowboys. Mino, what does Dak Prescott like to do the most?
He loves to throw over the middle of the field.
And where are the Packers particularly brutal on defense?
Oh, Bill, I'm glad you asked that question. In the second half of the season, and I split it to the second half because I was like, maybe it's not as bad. On passes between the numbers, the Packers are allowing 0.5 EPA per play. That is the worst in the NFL. It's actually worse in the second half of the season than the first half, but they're the worst over the course of the entire season as well.
Yes, 32nd in QBR as well. So just in case there's some kind of EPA glitch, nope, they are terrible defending passes over the middle of the field. And Dak loves to throw seam routes over the middle of the field. Loves CeeDee Lamb in the slot. Loves anything you can give Dak between the numbers. He wants to throw. And so, like, I'll just start there. Like, is that disqualifying for the Packers in this game? Like, are they just hopeless because they are so bad at stopping the...
By the way, the 2 picks were over the middle of the field. Generate offense, and you didn't. And if because it's one thing if like you guys lost, like you guys couldn't just keep up with Green Bay scoring, but it wasn't even that. It was like you guys couldn't even score on the defense. And like this, look, this is what it says: the Packers defense hasn't allowed the worst EPA rating and yards per attempt in NFL versus slants. Cries in CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he loves fucking slant routes.
It's just not
The worst yards per attempt on snaps, the worst EPA per play, and QBR to the middle of the field. 0.5 EPA would be the best quarterback season ever. If the Packers don't pressure Dak, they are cooked, which they didn't really pressure Dak. But, I mean, I guess the point here is they fucking were able to cook. I guess they knew what their weaknesses were, and the defense for Green Bay was able to fucking stop Dak and stop dumbass McCarthy. You know what I mean? And if really, I mean, like I'm saying, this is McCarthy's fault. I wouldn't put the loss on Dak. The whole thing I pulled up with Warren Sharp is the whole reason why I would blame this on fucking McCarthy.
Mhm.
It's like he
Coaching,
did
just
something.
coaching in general, because it's
Yeah. It's like McCarthy thought about the whole regular season and was like, nah, I'm gonna do something different for the playoffs. It's like, why, bro? Like, you were already doing so well. Like, you were doing good things already. Why do you feel like? Yeah, why do you feel like that you need to do something different? I don't fucking understand. Like,
Exactly, overthinking it, trying to be too cute. No,
Yeah.
what have we been successful with all year? All right, let's do that. Let's do that. All right, sprinkle in maybe a little something, spicy in there to mix it up, maybe just a little bit. But dude, go. You have your bread and butter. You've been using CD in so many different ways. Get the ball in his hands. He's the playmaker. Let's go. And you need to have some kind of resemblance of a run game in the postseason. Like that's just
That's crazy. Jordan Love, 272 pass yards, 3 pass touchdowns, 157 passer rating.
I love it. I love Dan Quinn. I love what he's brought to our team for the past 3 years. But man,
Oh, here we go. First downs, Green Bay 22. First downs for Dallas 37. Jordan Love didn't get sacked once.
mm-mm.
Insane. Net
He got
pass
hit-
yards
he got hit
387,
a few
277.
times. He got hit a few times, but the
Dallas had
ball was
2
already out.
turnovers, penalty yards, about even. More for Green Bay. Time of possession is just. I mean, the field position was also like a big part of it. But deja vu in Dallas. What comes next after the latest Cowboy playoff collapse? I mean, it obviously would be to fire Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy. There is absolutely nothing short of
Fire
the
him
health
too.
and goodwill of the people I care about. There is nothing that means more to me than if I could win a Super Bowl. Dallas Cowboy owner Jerry Jones said at the NFL Combine back in 2019. Nothing. A couple years later, Jones was asked whether he would make a deal with the devil for a Super Bowl. I found that he's not quite as responsive to one's individual ask as you might think, Jones said. I'm not trying to be sacrilegious here, but the facts are that I would. Right now, if I could, and I knew that I had a good chance to do it, I'd do anything known to man to get in a Super Bowl. Earlier this season, Jones described winning a Super Bowl as absolute glory hole. Okay. If that is how Jones describes winning a Super Bowl, then I shudder to think how he would describe Dallas's 48-32 loss to Packers on Sunday. The final score doesn't do justice to the game. The Cowboys were embarrassed from the opening drive and were down 32 points in the fourth quarter. Let's see. Dallas allowed the most points in a playoff game in team history. Green Bay had 20 points before Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb had a catch. Packers quarterback Jordan Love finished 1 point off of a perfect passer rating versus Dallas' vaunted defense. When Green Bay went up 27-0, the Packers had more interception return yards, 64, than Prescott had passing yards to his own team. I don't think anyone, Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy said after the game, saw this coming. Okay. I mean, sure. I don't think anybody wants to fucking be like, we're going to lose terribly.
How do you let a team come into your building and just smack you around like that? Not being ready to play defensively. We don't know what the game plan. It's the one with Rex Ryan, but he brought up.
I just like this one because someone said, "Oh, he's wearing the sweater I made him." There we go.
There you go.
The Cowboys defense played with 6+ defensive backs on 48 of 54 snaps. Well, that's
Meanwhile, Aaron
Jones is
running
cooking,
through
yeah.
their defense. Just knowing the depth chart on the Cowboys roster, we have a lot of hybrid linebackers that are safety / linebackers, but they're smaller. The only true linebacker that we have is Damone Clark, number 33.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, Marquise Bell, he'll switch over to linebacker from safety. Donovan Wilson, he's moved in from safety to linebacker. He kind of plays in that nickel kind of. But dude, they're small, and let alone we're already behind because our defensive line is built to rush the passer.
our defensive line got absolutely worked last night to the second level on every single play, and Aaron Jones already owns us.
Yeah.
And yet, again, maybe it's just because of our personnel, and that's all we have left. Our only true linebacker is Damone Clark. But dude, at least switch it up to get like 7 guys in the box at least. At least.
Yeah.
There is no
I
type
mean,
of adjustment whatsoever.
They're gonna try to
And
end the
also,
game.
they're
So
playing soft. They're playing
Yeah.
soft. So the moment Jordan Love extends a play for 1 second, dude, there's a hole. There's a wide open guy every time. I don't know what Dan Quinn was looking at all week to prepare for this game. To allow that, knowing Aaron Jones always runs through us. Always. Oh, maybe they'll run the ball because Aaron Jones, he's healthy, he's back. That's what they do well every time the Packers play the Cowboys. Yet there's no like emphasis on, hey, maybe we should stop the run.
here's Danny Heifetz, what he says about McCarthy. The question is now, what will Jones and the Cowboys do? Many will call for McCarthy's head, but Jones has been loyal to his coaches and players for years. Jason Garrett got nearly a decade in Dallas. But last week, when asked about McCarthy's job security, Jones said he'd see how each game goes in the playoffs. Narrator, it didn't go well. Jones said after the game that it was one of the biggest surprises since he got involved in sports. Jones said, I'm floored, which might as well be a quote from Charlie Brown, whatever. Dallas is the first team to win 12 games in 3 straight seasons and not make the conference championship game, per ESPN Stats and Info. Plenty will pine for Belichick. It's hard to see Belichick, who will likely want complete control of the football operation, working with Jones, who prides himself on having his hands in everything, including the socks and the jocks.
Hold on, real quick. No.
Well,
why would Bill Belichick want that? Look at our track record of our roster, of our draft picks.
well,
We hit at a high clip. Bill, come coach the Cowboys. You don't need to worry about your who we're drafting. Look at our track record. We will take care of the roster, Bill. All you need to do is coach.
Yeah.
Because we
I mean, agreed. He's already at an age that he can't be doing that shit anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at how it's turned out in New England. They always complain about, Bill Belichick as a GM. Okay. Yeah. I know he hears that. There's no way he doesn't. He's smart enough to know that. So, just come coach. You know we're going to draft the right guys, and they're going to be good players.
Yeah, so unless you can convince Bill to just come coach, which I hope he would and he does, because that would be fun.
I hope so too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for the storyline, that would be awesome, because then when you guys lose in the playoffs with Bill Belichick as your coach, then what? You know what I mean?
Then I don't know.
Then Jerry might just hang himself or something. But like, I just think also the fact that it took Jerry Jones 25 years to put Jimmy Johnson, the only person who has delivered him a Super Bowl, put him in the Ring of Honor. I think it's easy to say that like he's not gonna want to fucking do that for Bill. Yeah, because like he doesn't like putting up with fucking big egos like that, or someone who's like a bigger stature than him, or like, because it's an ego thing. Like all he cares about is being like the biggest dick in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at his age, there's no time for that. There's no time for that.
Yeah, but
you just read at the beginning, he would do anything for to get another Super Bowl. Okay,
but him saying that and him doing that are two different things. You know what I'm saying?
Fair, but like,
okay,
if that's how you feel, then you're gonna have to like take a step back, buddy.
Yeah,
you have to. Same thing with Harbaugh. Like, I like the Harbaugh. Why not?
Yeah,
I prefer Harbaugh because he's a great leader and he's an offensive guy. I honestly still want an offensive guy.
So he goes. The same logic applies to Jim Harbaugh. He wouldn't. It would also be another big ego or big. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also someone who would want to do things their way. And I think just having Jerry standing in the back while practice is going on would like piss him off. Would also piss off. You know what I mean? Like, no one likes a micromanager. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to come for the pictures, if you want to come to sign autographs to fans, but if you're gonna stand in the back and watch me practice, and then start, you know what I mean? It's like that shit's fucking annoying.
And then have a radio show every single week.
Yeah, where you're just like talking about what the fuck you saw. just snitching on yourself. Like,
Exactly.
you know what? I think we're gonna run the ball this week, or or whatever. It's like, why are you leaking shit? Like, it's so stupid.
No, for real.
A good coach would do wonders for Dallas. The Cowboys draft incredibly well, like per your point. They selected Prescott in the 4th round. They built a stout offensive line with Hall of Fame guard Zach Martin, center Travis Frederick, and left tackle Tyron Smith. And they rebuilt it with guard Tyler Smith and center Tyler B. Diaz. They drafted most of their defensive contributors, including edge rushers Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, cornerbacks Trayvon Diggs, Jordan Lewis, and Deron Bland, 5th rounder, and safeties Donovan Wilson, 6th rounder, and Jaron Kerr, 7th rounder. Dallas might be the best drafting team of the past decade. These picks are courtesy of the Dallas front office personal guru, Will McClay, who just got a raise after getting more general manager interview requests this month. Oh, nice.
Hell no. He ain't
The
going
Cowboys
anywhere, my boy.
have talent. They just are always less than the sum of their parts. Fixing that is a coach's job. There is certainly an argument that Belichick or Harbaugh will take the absurd talent on Dallas's roster and turn the team into a proper contender in January and February in a shorter order.
Yes,
Jones would do anything for a Super Bowl, even make a deal with the devil. Perhaps he should concede some control, and he'd be amazed by what glory awaits. Until then, the Cowboys are in a different kind of hole.
My point of posting what I posted and Ocho hitting it right on the spot.
Mike McCarthy did the one thing he could not afford to do if he wanted to avoid an awkward conversation with Jerry Jones Sunday night. He and his team got embarrassed, 48-32. They fell behind 27-0, and the Packers stretched out their lead 32 points midway through the 4th quarter. This one was over before halftime, and now McCarthy's tenure as Cowboys head coach could be over before the weekend. Before the week's end. There's a lot of blame to go around for the lopsided defeat. Dan Quinn's defense got dog-walked by Green Bay's young offense, and Dak Prescott threw 2 picks against a bad defense. But most of it will be pinned on the head coach. The team wasn't prepared for a winnable game at home against an inexperienced opponent. And while the Cowboys did avoid a memeable final play this time around, I want to see what it is. This is his last. This is Zeke's last snap as a fucking Cowboy. Was that, huh?
That's what he will be remembered for.
There hasn't been much progress for the Dallas Cowboys over that time, and with a growing sense of urgency in Dallas and a head coach hiring pool full of proven winners, including Belichick, it would be surprised if Jones didn't part ways with McCarthy. His defense gave up 48 points and nearly perfect day to Jordan Love in his playoff debut. And Quinn stuck with 6 defensive backs throughout the game, even when Green Bay put out extra running backs and tight ends on the field. Having that extra speed on the field didn't help Dallas in pass coverage either. The Packers receivers finding acres of space downfield. Yeah, there was a lot of blown coverages and shit too, which was
exactly
not the best. So give me a hierarchy of who you want to get hired. Would you go with Belichick, Harbaugh 1, 2, or Vrabel?
I'd go Harbaugh 1, Belichick 2, and then everyone else. But it's got to be why. It's got to be one of those 2 for me.
Like realistically, I think Bill is the move. But personally, who I would prefer, I would take an offensive coach, and I know Jim Harbaugh is a good leader of men. That's the biggest thing. A freaking leader, dude. We need a leader
just like
who's gonna motivate your players to be ready to play every Sunday.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be a you win 2 games by beating a team by more than 20 points and then you lose to the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, you have a dud. No, that's not how it works.
Do some closing arguments on the.
We'll be by the end of this week. I need Mike McCarthy to be out of the building. I would love a Bill Belichick sighting, a meeting with Jim Harbaugh. Like I just got done saying, Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh. I would love to. As of right now, fresh off of a loss, I'm gonna need Jim Harbaugh or Bill Belichick to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, from 1 to 10, what was your confidence in Dak before the playoff game?
Pretty high. I'd go 9. I'd go 9.
And now that this game happened, how do you feel about Dak?
I'm down to like a 7, but he's not going nowhere. If you,
you're okay with keeping him?
Yeah, I'm okay with keeping him. He proved a lot this year. Psychologically, obviously, it may not have shown yesterday, but I think he grew as a leader and as a player coming off of the season he had last year. I like what I saw, and regardless of what Yesterday was. I don't think Dak Prescott was the reason for the double goal last night.